I'm Nick Williams, joined by Andrew Cherico and Dwayne Jones. We're outside of FBC Mortgage Stadium after the Knights held their first open practice of the spring season on Saturday. Now, the question in media access was who won today's open practice. We heard from Miles Montgomery that offense won, of course, being a running back. We heard from Chasen Johnson being a defensive back that the defense won. But Andrew, what were you seeing out there today? Who do you think won?
I mean, from my observation, it's obvious that the defense stole the show in the first open practice for UCF. We saw a pick six from linebacker Andrew Harris. We saw big hard hits from safety Philip Dunham. And we saw the DB room consistently winning the 50-50 ball with the pick from Nicholas Antoine and the many deflections from Chasen Johnson. Now, Coach Frost says he saw the effort today, but now he just wants to see it consistently on the practice field. Let's hear from Coach Frost and players and get some sounds and sights from the field.
I think, honestly, anytime you're installing new systems on both sides, speed to the ball and effort overcomes a lot on defense. And if an offense isn't ready to execute perfectly with speed, defense usually wins early on. We've had some good battles on the field, but for the most part, I thought the D came more ready to play and played with a better tempo and pace today, and that was the difference.
Yeah, at first, everyone's all hype, energetic. There's really not many words you need to say just because it's not really tough right now. But we had a practice the other day where it was super hot outside, and Coach pushed us. Is the most we've been pushed ever since we've been here. He showed all the stats, and everyone grew. I feel like leadership-wise, there hasn't really been a time where you just had to just, come on, guys, lock in. It's kind of just like understood at this point. Of course, you got some people who just need a little extra push, and that's okay, right? But, I mean, for the most part, everyone's been good at it.
Practice is different. Like, we practice hard and long, so I feel like instead of like the little short periods, like we're gonna have more in-game scenarios, and just it translates to the game more.
How does that work for you?
It works real good. I feel like I can just it's just gonna translate to the game so easy. Like if we're Coach Grinch, he said, how is that different from the game? If you're practicing how you play, how is it different from the game? So I feel like that's how it translates for me.
Yeah, Nick, enough about this defense. Let's talk about the offense, especially this quarterback room. Still a huge question mark and still so much unknown. What have you learned?
We learned on Saturday that Frost still has yet to see a leader emerge. We're expected to see a leader kind of come out of the shadows when it comes to late spring going into summer. But Dwayne, what did you see from the quarterbacks today?
Yeah, guys, it was a really up and down day for this quarterback group. We saw incompletions, interceptions, good passes, and good catches too. So right now, I would just frame it as a big question mark for this quarterback group. But Nick, you got to speak to all four quarterbacks and quarterback coach McKenzie Milton on Thursday. What did you hear?
We got to hear that McKenzie Milton is showing game film of himself to each quarterback to prove what it's like to be under Frost's offense. And on top of that, you got Dylan Risk, who came off a great game against Arizona last season. That stuck in his head. Ja'Curry Brown thinks that he's the guy, wants to show the fans what he's made of. You got guys like Taven Jackson, who has pure athleticism, came from Indiana, and guys like Cam Fancher, who believes he's a field general, and he wants to be used under any role under Frost's offense. Let's hear from each one of the guys on how competitive it is to be in this quarterback room.
I just think the biggest thing is, I'm no longer a player, and that's something I've had to learn over the last couple of years. Is, I'm not a peer to these guys. I'm a coach. While there's still a lot of commonality just in terms of, things you might watch or listen to and things like that, is at the end of the day, it's a player-coach relationship, but I want these guys to see me as like a big brother, someone they can confide in and things like that. And then just approach, it's the same, I tell these guys every day, just be your best, and it's the same for me. I just want to be the best I can possibly, best I can be.
Coach Milton myself.
I appreciate it. Just being our best every day. That's the standard.
All of us are really just competing, taking it one day at a time, and like I said, the whole room, top to bottom, we all can spin it, we all can create, we all can make plays. Now it's just about being consistent day in and day out and trying to take a step every day.
Yeah, it's been a great competition. All four. This is probably this has been the greatest quarterback room I've been in since I've been in college. We all are really, really talented. We compete every single day. We make each other better. So I love this quarterback room. We're all really, really good. We're all really, really close. So it's going well, yeah.
For me, it's like being more consistent and like making a throw. Because I can make all the throws in the book. I know that. I believe that. But it's more or less taking every play, every rep, like it's a game rep, and just stacking days on top of each other for sure. Because I know, like, I'm the best in the nation. That's how I feel. But I just got to go show that to you guys and everybody else.
Oh, it's great competition. It's healthy competition. Everyone wants to be the guy, and fairly, like that's what we signed up for. It's great competition. Everyone gets the same amount of reps in spring ball, and we'll see who comes out with it, but it's healthy competition.
Now, Andrew, there's a group that we haven't spoken much on this spring, which is the DT room. What have you seen out there this past week with the DTs?
I mean, just observing at the open practice, we saw some holes being opened up and some holes being closed really quickly. Speaking with the running backs, and they were getting touchdowns, but they were also getting a bunch of run stops as well.
Yeah, Miles Montgomery spoke on Saturday about how he was having a field day, how each running back was having a field day getting in the end zone. But Dwayne, you spoke on Tuesday to defensive tackles coach Kenny Martin as well as some DTs. What were you hearing from them?
Yeah, guys, defensive tackle coach Kenny Martin told us on Tuesday that this squad is still far away from where they need to be, and he's trying to get them there before fall runs around. Good news for this group, though. John Walker is returning off injury this year, and he told us that he's elated and is ready to get back on the field. But yeah, this group is gonna be hard getting them where they need to be. But Coach Kenny Martin told us that he's expecting to see some All-Americans by the time the fall runs around. Let's hear what they have to say.
And so again, like I told you guys, man, I was blessed to have those guys all my years here. So right now, man, I'm excited, man, that I get a clean slate, that I get the chance to start over and really show guys, man, that I can truly develop these guys, right? What I want these guys to be known as is guys that are violent at the point of attack, right? I told these guys, man, when we was out there, this is the only sport that you can be violent and not get in trouble. You know what I mean? This is the only sport that you can come and punch somebody, choke somebody out, and not get in. Man, all violence will solve all your issues. So again, I want us to be known as a violent group, a group that gets to the ball, right? In a group that's respected. Okay, when guys run the ball, they better go to the perimeter, right? That's the expectation for us, man. We want to be physical up front, locking things out, and being disruptive, even in the pass rush. I want to be able to knock stuff back, penetrate, and affect the quarterback, right? A lot of people want to let's put defensive ends in there. No, sir. No, sir. We're going to push that pocket inside, and we got to prove that here.
No, I feel really good. I've been working my tail off, in the training room, in the weight room, just really getting back to my groove, and I feel really good. I'm just listening. I'm just waiting for the protocol, so I'm just going through protocol right now. But I'm ready to roll.
All right, guys, that kind of puts a bow on week 3 of spring practice for these UCF Knights. Let's talk about some players that have really stood out. For me personally, Andrew Harris, he finished the open practice with a pick 6, a big one at that, and it was a big day overall for this defensive back rooms. What about you guys?
I was able to see Paul Rubel, one of the big fellas out there, being responsible for opening up those holes for the running backs. And during the O-line drills, I mean, he was pure dominant. What about you, Andrew?
I've seen 2 guys stand out. I'm taking 2. I'm taking Dylan Wade and Kylan Fox, the tight end room. 2 versatile receiving tight ends. They were running routes all over the field, making crucial run blocks, and catching every ball that came their way. I expect them to be a big part of Frost's offense in the fall.
Well, the Knights will be back in action on Tuesday at the practice fields and back at FBC Mortgage Stadium next Friday for another open practice. For Andrew Cherico, Dwayne Jones, I'm Nick Williams for the Sons of UCF.